Good, how are y'all?
Good. How would you characterize his progress in your performance, offensive performance?
Obviously, it was pretty good. We put a lot more points on the board. We were doing pretty well on third down. We had a good scheme for third down, and we just did a good job of maintaining drives and holding those drives and scoring at the end.
What were opportunities you saw last week, looking back at the film, Bo, that you were happy about, and what were some that you felt like maybe you missed an opportunity?
Well, obviously there's a lot you can grow on, but we're just really pleased with just the completions and just getting the drive started and having a lot of good drives on the first few first downs, and then just getting it started and then finishing with touchdowns.
How important is just getting into a rhythm? I mean, your completion percent, I think, was the highest since Mariota in 2012. How much does just the rhythm, getting into a rhythm, help you as a thrower?
Oh, it's huge. Just as any quarterback just enjoys those good, easy completions that kind of get the drive started, and then it puts you in a good rhythm just with seeing the defense and all that stuff. And then on third downs, obviously, it's just important to get the ball out and then let your guys make plays.
How do you judge and assess your own, beyond looking at the film, obviously, we chatted about with Kenny for sure, but I mean, is there a number, is there a measure, beyond completion percentage, is there a certain stat you look for, is there something you're mindful of in evaluating yourself?
Nothing in particular. Obviously, completion percentage is important just because if the ball's in the air, you want to complete passes. And then just looking at just the attention to details with drops and footwork and run game footwork and reads. And I mean, there's so much that goes into it. It's really hard to put a number beside it.
What's the challenge BYU presents defensively?
They're just very multiple and very physical. They give you a lot of different looks inside the box. Are pretty good in a lot of areas, a lot of positions. They do a good job of letting their players play, and they aren't really necessarily exotic. They just line up in a bunch of different places.
What's your, I guess, like back and forth between you, Kenny, and Alex this week like then with a defense that's very local?
It's just finding their, their base pictures and knowing where they're supposed to be, and then if they're not there, kind of having the awareness that something may be up. It's just a lot of film, a lot of practice work out on the field with your guys getting in the right spots.
For a game like this, and between both caliber opponent and just the caliber defense, do you pay more attention to the first couple, particularly last week's game with them in Baylor, since it was a really good opponent there too, and really good offense? Or do you go back to last year? Like how many games worth of film do you look at?
Well, you got to look at all the games where their defensive coach has been there, and obviously it's been a while, so you can go back just as far as that and look at all the games it's called, because most of the time coaches are going to be kind of similar. They're not going to change a whole lot, so you can pick up a lot of different things each game you look at. But you definitely obviously want to look at their personnel just this year, what they're putting on the field, and then scheme-wise you can look as far back as you want.
Can you speak to just the play of your offensive line?
Yeah.
Guys are shuffling, they may have some more this week, and you haven't been sacked, and very few pressures too.
Yeah, I mean, it's as a quarterback, that's the best thing is when the offensive line is really good. And I think just the most part is how experienced they are. They just do a really good job of communicating. They watch film a lot together. They just very close-knit group that has seen a lot of football and then communicates well. And then they play really hard up front, and that's all you can ask for as a quarterback.
Do you feel like there's been any change with Harper in the lineup? Because it's a guy that hasn't played in over 1,000 days until the last couple of weeks, and doesn't feel like there's much of a drop-off.
To be honest, no, because from week 1 to week 2, you saw a lot of consistencies. Obviously, down the road, you can continue to see guys go in and out, and because unfortunately at the O-line position, sometimes a lot of guys get injured and banged up, and so you got to have a lot of different lineups. But I'm comfortable with all those guys, confident, and trust them all.
What Troy and Terrence done in particular, because you turned to them a lot on third down, and not just this past week, even in the Georgia game, you're looking for them a good bit. With a younger receiver core that hasn't been either proven statistically or proven in those third down moments and go-to guys, looks like you've gotten comfortable pretty quickly with two guys in those spots.
Yeah, and then all that goes back to just scheme and who's going to get open on a particular play, and a lot of the times the defense dictates that. And we have some good schemes to get guys in matchups that we know are going to be successful, and obviously those two guys are two that have had success in the past couple of weeks, and obviously we'll continue to do so. But it's just all about getting good matchups on third down. And with the inexperience, those guys are just going to continue to get more and more reps at it. And so you may see a lot more other guys get those kind of opportunities.
Obviously, the Georgia game was a huge game, but you've played in a lot of top 25 and big game environments, and you know what that's like. Obviously, if you're inherent throughout the SEC. This is the first one here in 4 years, so there's not, other than the really older guys, like very few guys on the team would have been here in 2018 when they even played. How do you get prepared for that kind of big game environment, though?
You know, you just, like any other game, I think you take it each game as an important game. Maybe the environment will be different, but, you know, it's good to have it at home. So the environment for us shouldn't change too much. I mean, it shouldn't be a difficulty communicating, and that's just the luxury of playing at home in these type of games. But I see it being a huge factor, obviously, for them to communicate, and that's always a good thing.
What's made Sean so effective for you guys as a running back, either running or catching? You've looked at him quite a bit. And he's made some plays both games for you guys.
Yeah, he's just very versatile. He does a good job out of the backfield catching the ball and running after the catch. Obviously, he runs really hard, and then he's a really good pass protector as well. He's kind of like me, been playing for a while, seen a lot of different looks. And so, obviously, just with his experience, it's good to have him in the backfield.
I don't know if anyone was really anticipating him maybe leading the team in rushing. I know it's 2 games, but did you see that during fall camp, that this was going to be a guy that was going to be making these plays for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Just because I think just him being a veteran, him being around a lot, he's just kind of at that point to where he's able to do that. He's able to be on the field in a lot of different situations, and when you're on the field, good things happen.
We've got a linebacker who's got an interception, a pick 6 earlier this year. He's had interceptions for like 4 years in a row. Played a lot of great linebackers in the SEC. Anyone who compares by way of coverage ability, like say he's built more like a safety, and that's why he's got the picks, but he's really all over the field.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you see guys like that that are do-it-all kind of guys, can play in the box, can cover. Seen a lot of different of those type of players. None really come to mind, but obviously as defenses continue to progress, it's always good to have that guy that you don't have to take out, and so it won't make any personnel changes and won't raise awareness from that category. But I think just with his position, he does a good job, and so we'll see what happens.
When fans are always clamoring for more and more deep throws, you know, they all want bombs. They all want 40 and 50-yard passes. I'm sure you love a couple of them too.
Yeah.
How much of like last week was just in part by design? Like either you guys didn't want to show it, didn't have to show it, and it wasn't that you were deliberately not throwing them. It was that it was trying to keep things under wraps a little bit. Is that fair?
Well, a lot of times fans want bombs, but they don't look at the defense a whole lot. And defenses want to prevent bombs. And so I think fans just kind of get caught up in what they want. And, I mean, they just don't necessarily understand a whole lot.
Well, Noah talked about Cam's impact in the blocking game. What has his impact in the blocking game been like for you?
That's been huge, just to add his experience and physicality to that room. Just to add another guy that has a great skill set, and he just allows us to be very multiple with different things. And he obviously made some good plays on Saturday, getting the ball in his hands, and it's just good to see him be back on the field.
Do you think that mixture of blocking and catching ability has gotten in those significant snaps?
Absolutely. Obviously, when you're just one-sided, you could tell the defense kind of what the play is. So when you're balanced, it's always good to use guys how they're what they're good at, and if you can run, catch the ball, and also block, and you're going to be doing a lot of good things on the field.